Okay, today we're going to talk about graphing relationship, and this is section 4.2. What we're going to be doing is writing down a bunch of definitions first, so please get ready to do this. These are all important words that you need to make sure and know. There will be things that you'll be asked on your test. We are going to have a section where there is some vocab, so we need to make sure that we understand that a relation is defined as a set of ordered pairs. So let me give you an example of that. This is a relation, so I could make up a bunch of ordered pairs. Okay, so it's just a set of ordered pairs, so it would look something along those lines. The next definition I want you to write down is for a domain. The domain is the set of x coordinates. Okay, and when we write the domain, we're going to write those from smallest to largest, so please take note of that. So when you hear the word domain, you know that we're talking about what are the x values. So what are the x values that we are looking for? Domain is x values. The next one is range. What is the y values? Range you might think of as height. So what is the y values? What are the y values? Again, those are going to be listed from smallest to largest. Last word today will be mapping, and we are going to use the mapping technique to organize the relations that are listed. There's different things that you can do to map something. One of them that you can do is just make a vertical list of the domain values in numerical order. So we'll just look at all the x values and put them in order from least to greatest. Then what we'll do is make another vertical list of the range values in numerical order from least to greatest. And then we'll draw arrows that match up the x and the y value. A note that you want to make is that if more than one arrow comes off of an x value, then it is not a function. So we're going to be asked whether or not something is a function. We can see that in a mapping diagram, or we can also see it in a graph, and I'll talk more about that as we see some graphs. So one of the first things we're going to do is just some examples where we're going to express the relation. So we'll be given that set of ordered pairs. We're going to first express it as a table, then we're going to create a graph of it, and then we're also going to create that mapping diagram. So my first problem here, I'm going to go ahead and separate this. This would be my domain here, and over here I write my range. If you remember, the domain are the x values. So let's highlight those in yellow. All my x values are right here. They happen to be in order right now from least to greatest. That does not always happen. So I'll go ahead and put 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then let's go ahead and put our range in the green in green. And those happen to be in numerical order from least to greatest right now. Smallest being -5, -3, -2, and -1. So this is the vertical relationship I was just talking about. If we go back to that, it said to make a vertical list of the domain. And we're going to do that same thing when we create that mapping diagram. So because these were already in order, what I can do when I create my mapping diagram is actually just go ahead and write them in the same order that they were here because I already listed them from least to greatest. When we're doing it in the table, we want to match up our x and y values. Well, our x matches up with this y, and this x matches up with this y because that's 2, -3. Then it's 3, -2, and then it is 4, -1. Those arrows all go straight across. We're going to find that that's not always the case. The last thing we're going to do is graph these. So we have 1, -5. We have 2, -3. We have 3, -2. And we have 4, -1. I will continue to talk about this problem on the next video.